Hello, I hope you are all doing so well. I'm very, very happy that you are taking the time to join me for hopefully, maybe, a warm cup of coffee, tea, something bubbly, whatever you like to sit down and relax. Cheers to that. Maybe you've got some making in your lap, a little bit of knitting. I have been doing a little bit of knitting. We have just come back from 2 weeks in Turkey. It was absolutely fabulous. If any of you have written us an email, you will have seen something pop up that just mentioned we're on holiday. We'll get back to you after the 16th. One thing that I want to mention right off the bat, do not respond to your invoice email. So that homespunhouse@gmail.com, that is not an email that we respond to. That is just an email purely used for invoices. And a lot of customers can get a bit frustrated with writing that email and not receiving an email back because we don't read it, we won't see it. So make sure that you write us via the contact form on our website. On the invoice, it also states at the bottom that it's not an email to write to, but I know not everyone sees that. What have I been working on? I have done a lot on the Soldotna that I'm knitting for my mom. This is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and I'm using Hopscotch here. This is a tonal in our shop. And then I'm using Avada Kedavra. You can see that's here. That's that next green color. We have this available on all bases in our shop. Same with all of the colors that I'm sharing with you right now. We have steel, and then that cream color is fresh sheets. So I'm knitting the size medium, the third size, I believe. Anyway, it's the medium. This is the same size I knit for myself. And I am going to be knitting it long sleeves, with long sleeves, and I'm knitting it a lot longer. This is not a cropped version of the sweater at all. So I'm already on my second skein, and I can't remember how much yarn I used last time, but I think for the medium size and knitting it longer and with long sleeves, I used 5 skeins of that yarn, just in case you're interested in knitting a medium for yourself. Any size smaller than a medium, if you want to do it longer like this, you could definitely get away with 4 skeins. So, and I'm knitting it 55 centimeters from the neck down to where the bottom will be. And that's just based upon my mom's measurements of how long she wanted her garment to be. So I love that the Soldotna has the short row shaping in the back. It just creates it so it lays a lot nicer. So the back goes up a little bit higher, and then you have just a nice lay of the neck. I did not knit this sweater, by the way. It is something that I purchased. So I love it. I'd like to knit something similar to it, but I did not knit this. This is so much fun to work on. I foresee I will have the bottom finished today. I'm going to be doing the color work at the bottom, and I did not do the little lice going down the body of the sweater. So I love it. I'm using our non-superwash DK, and that's the same exact base that I used for my sweater. It is such a fun knit, and Ruby, my youngest daughter, just asked me to knit her another sweater. I'm kind of itching to knit a sweater for myself as well. I don't remember when I knit a sweater for myself last. I feel like it would have been last summer of 2023. I think that's when I knit that Inga sweater by Petite Knit. And I probably will knit another Petite Knit sweater. I really like the Colorwork one that she's come out with, but I've also really been itching to knit just a plain sweater, probably using a non-superwash yarn because I don't want it to be stretchy. I want it to keep its shape a little bit more, which non-superwash yarn definitely does better than superwash yarn, especially because I want to use the Surrey baby alpaca with it, and alpaca just can stretch. However, when paired with the non-superwash yarn, it definitely is much better at keeping its shape. The next item that I am working on is a crochet blanket. I shared this with you all last time, and I did put a progress keeper on there from last time. I think I did anyway. Where is it? Maybe I didn't. Why did I think I put a progress keeper on there? I don't know how much I've knit since the last time, or crocheted. I think I've done this bit here. But this is a crochet blanket that I am crocheting. Anytime I say knitting when I'm sharing this, I'm sorry, but I knit so much more than I crochet, so it's kind of stuck in there. I'm crocheting this using our Patreon minis that I've gathered over the last months. And one thing I want to mention about our Patreon is we have up until this Sunday, so October 22nd, we are offering free memberships for our second tier of videos, and that's called our Thankful tier. Super fun. I think we have about 700 vlogs on there for those of you who are interested, so it is definitely a lot of viewing time. So this is using our Patreon minis, and I'm having a lot of fun knitting on this. It's something light, easy to pick up every now and again. And right now it's the only thing that I have that's easy to travel with. If I'm going to an appointment or, yeah, mostly just for an appointment. It's not a lot that I have in my lap, like the sweater, for example. However, I did take the sweater with me to Turkey. It's the only thing I brought along, and I only knit while we were there, on the plane there and on the plane back. Otherwise, we were outside every second doing something relaxing in the sun. It was 36 degrees almost every single day. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's warm. Definitely 90, over between 90 and 100, I would guess. So I've really enjoyed just the time there, and it was very rejuvenating and did all of us so much good. So it was fantastic. That's all that I have on my needles or hook at the moment. However, it has been so chilly upon returning. We've had mornings of 2 to 4 degrees. Yesterday, the high was, I think, 8. And while I've been working in the studio, I've been wearing my November mitts. I think I knit somewhere between 6 and 8 of these last year. I don't exactly remember, but I believe that I knit them all out of our non-superwash fingering, non-superwash merino, I believe is what it's called in the shop. And this is our Hearth colorway. I also knit a sweater for myself out of this color. I love it. I think it's a really pretty color. And each of the girls have a pair of rubies left with, or 8 ODs left with rubies this morning. Ruby has an entire day in the garden every Tuesday, and so she didn't want them to get too dirty. So maybe I'll have to knit her another pair so that her purple pair knit out of our Jello colorway can get dirty. But I really want to knit a few more pairs because it's a lot of fun. And 8OD asked me if she could have a deep, deep gray, almost black color. So I think I might knit her a pair out of ash. And I don't know if I'll use our non-superwash yarn again for that pair. I think I might use our plump merino. I haven't decided. The non-superwash is my favorite for them, but the girls move their hands so much and they're doing so much that I've noticed that both of their pair have felted a lot. Now mine look pretty great because I'm not like wearing them and playing like crazy and rubbing my fingers in grass and all of the wonderful exploration things that children do with their hands. So I might not knit theirs in the non-superwash yarn, even though it's the only yarn that's water resilient too, but they're not wearing those mittens really in wetness. It's more just cold, and we don't have a lot of snow here anyway. And if it's snowing, you're not wearing fingerless mittens. So, okay, I've knit and finished quite a bit since we last spoke. One of those things is the hat that I knit for my dad. I really love this pattern. I was worried it would be too loose. It isn't a tight head hugging cap, but it still is really nice and it looks phenomenal. Elodie tried this on, it fits her great, and she desperately wanted to keep it. So that's saying a lot. Maybe I'll have to knit her one as well. It looked so cute on her. This is our plump merino yarn, fingering weight, and it is our blackberry jam colorway. This is a hat for my dad. It matches a shawl that I knit him in the beginning of the year, and I'm happy to have the set finished. I don't have the shawl around me to share it with you, but I knit it out of blackberry jam and then our favorite book colorway, which we only have in the shop as a sock set, and they're almost, oh, here it is, right here. So it's these two together. My dad really likes oranges and purples, browns, things like that. So he chose this color and this color. The next thing that I finished is my Practical Magic socks. I knit these using Tin Can Knits Rye Light sock pattern. We only have tweed sock sets left in the shop. I'm so happy that we're now able to offer tweed yarns in the shop. We have tweed sock sets available, and then we have tweed yarn as 100 gram skein. So you can get fingering weight or DK weight on all of our newer colors. We have them available. And they're really nice because a lot of tweed yarns aren't something you can really use for socks, because a lot of the bases that a lot of yarn companies offer have pure superwash merino and then that Donegal tweed. But the base that we found is so great because it's perfect for socks. It has 15% nylon in it, so it doesn't get holes as easy. I know we used to carry a base like the first one that I mentioned with the merino and Donegal tweed with no nylon, and Robert wore those socks and he got a hole in them, I think the first or second day, which was such a bummer. He loved them, and yeah, then he couldn't wear them again. And he is wearing a pair like the last week or two of my new tweed base, and they're perfect. He hasn't had any problems with holes or anything. So these are a lot of fun. I believe this is the Rye Light or Rye pattern by Tin Can Knits. It's using fingering weight yarn. And yeah, I used 2.25 millimeter needles, DPNs. What else? I think I used 56 stitches for these. And they're so cute, so pretty. This will not be in the shop again this year. The next colorway that I knit is our Wicked Witch sock set. We only have a few of these left in the shop, and when they're gone, they're gone. I love this sock set so much. It was so much fun to knit. It is so perfect for this season. And I just did a plain stockinette stitch with these socks. I cast on 56 stitches. I knit 3 rounds. This one I knit 5. You can see the difference. I think the 3 is a lot cuter. And then I knit the leg. I used our butternut colorway for the heel, just a heel flap and gusset. It's my favorite. And then I used our amethyst colorway for the toe. I love these. I did again 56 stitches on 2.25 double pointed needles, and these just, oh no, I used 2.25 circular, 9-inch circular needles. It's definitely not my favorite, and I don't want to knit another pair of socks with circular needles unless I'm doing color work. Then I would definitely use them. I don't get cramped hands. It's just not something that I overly enjoy, like DPNs. So I think the next pair of socks that I cast on, I'm going to be using a 2 millimeter needle. Sorry, you Patreons, I know you've heard this already, but letting you know again. The final pair of socks that I finished is my pumpkin spice socks. I love this colorway so much. I just dyed a ton of this colorway in sock sets and across all bases, soft sock, plum merino, cashmere, non-soft, everything, tweed included. You can get it on our woolly base for a sock set, tweed base for a sock set, plum merino, all of the like. And I did the same small little cuff here. Here I did 2 rounds. The 3 round after is my favorite, I've come to find. I did a little bit of experimentation here. This is our Teddy colorway that I used for all of the contrasts. And this one I did do DPNs, but it's quite loose. I definitely need to, as I said, use a 2mm needle for my next pair of socks that I make. I also know that when I made these last year, I used a different needle size than called for, and I know I did not write it anywhere. I suppose I could go back to a podcast and see if I chatted about it, and I think I'll do that because I really love the gauge that I got here. I'm guessing it's a 2.25 or a 2mm needle. Anyway, these are so great. Oh, I don't know if I showed them to you off of the needles. I also knit the cuff a lot longer than called for in the pattern. Gosh, I don't remember. It was somewhere between 6 and 8 inches. Love these. They are so much fun. It's a bit surprising I don't have any socks on the needles right now, and I don't really have plans to cast on a pair of socks right now. I think because of these November mitts, they've kind of got my heart a little, and I'd like to knit all of us a pair. And I really want to knit a sweater for myself soon. So I've had a lot of fun watching Vlogmases this past month, especially since returning from Turkey, because we just returned this past weekend and I have 2 weeks of Vlogmases to catch up on while I wind yarn. We currently have in the shop, now that Advent season is coming, it is really coming, our 4 Sundays of Advent that will be closing this week. So if you are interested in getting a sock set each Sunday of Advent, something wintry, it's not necessarily going to be Christmas colors. You might get a sock set or 2 in there that are Christmassy, but they will all be winter themed. You have your choice of whether you would like a 70-gram sock set, so a 50-gram with a 20-gram to open each Sunday, or a 120-gram sock set, so a 100-gram along with a 20-gram mini skein for contrasts if you would like to open each Sunday. I hope that you guys love those. Christmas at Hogwarts is in the shop for all of you Harry Potter aficionados. That is our Harry Potter inspired yarn that I put out each year for Christmas. I'm about to head into the studio and well, I am in the studio right now, but I'm about to head into the dye studio and do some yarn dyeing. Very excited about that. And yeah, I have a full day ahead of me. Cheers to a wonderful rest of your day. Oh, this mug, it's from Staircase Ceramics. I've talked about it, I think, in the last 2 episodes, but I want to mention it again. I know not all of you watch every single episode and not all of you make it until the end, but for those of you who made it until the end, Staircase Ceramics, I love her mugs. As the seasons change, you'll be seeing new ones. And yeah, anyway, I hope you guys are all cozy and that you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.